Okay, welcome into a great episode of Living in San Diego. I'm Henish and I'm joined by Rocio. Rocio, say hi.
Hi.
Rocio lives next to our community spotlight. Today we're talking about North Park, and she's in that same community, and so I wanted to bring her in as a resident, expert, and local. And so we're talking about why North Park is so cool and why people love it.
Okay, yeah. I live in University Heights, so it's just 5 minutes away from me.
They're adjacent. University Heights touches North Park,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so North Park has a lot of stuff going for it. A lot of the young people love living there because it's very vibrant, and there's great places that you can get out of your condo, apartment, house and walk to a dozen different breweries, right?
Correct.
And there's a lot of them. So they're all craft beer places. They're not places, you could probably get a Budweiser there, but they typically brew their own beers and they have their own breweries. And that they all have some kind of distinctive flavor, right? Some of them that you hear about are North Park Beer Company, Mike Hess, right? These all have great tasting rooms, great venues you can hang out. Modern Times is there, Fall Brewing, and Belching Beaver. There's just a few of the breweries that are in San Diego that have, or in North Park itself, that have great tasting rooms. You could even do a little bike bar crawl, as long as you could do it safely. Maybe do walking and have the lighter beers, and you might be okay. What do you think? If you drink a beer at 5 different breweries, would you still be able to walk?
I think so.
Okay.
A little crooked, but I still will be able to walk.
Okay, as long as you price it out, maybe over 2 or 3 hours, you could probably do that. It'd be kind of fun to do. And they all have their cool flavors, and they all have their own takes, and they're getting big, right? Craft beer in San Diego is huge, with our biggest company probably being Ballast Point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of up in the Miramar area, and they sold their company for like $1 billion+. Mm-hmm. So these other breweries are seeing it and they're saying, hey, someone want to buy my brewery for $1 billion? And so go check them out. They've got great beers. Me personally, I do like beers, and I remember having like an IPA, more flavorful palate for a while, and then those beers get heavy. And so now I've been shifting more to the Pilsners and lagers and the lighter beers. And fortunately, all of these breweries have a good variety of beers that you can choose from. So having a good light beer for me works, maybe 2. It seems unlikely that I'll be able to do the 5-bar crawl unless I'm really getting my arms twisted from some friends from college or something like that. But I'd have to have them come visit first. Okay, there's more to North Park than just the breweries. What else we got? We got some great shopping, right? And independent stores. There's a lot of boutique clothing stores, hat stores, maybe even sock stores. What do they got? What are some of the top shops there?
They have a vintage store.
Okay.
They do
vintage clothing, is it like, like you can sell it to them and rebuy?
Correct.
Oh.
Or they have their own products.
Got it.
Yep. So they also do consignment.
Okay. Okay. What else?
They also have a new boutique that just opened up there by the Matcha Tea Company.
Okay.
Which is really cute clothing. But it's a variety of local artists that just open up the store, so you're not buying like from mass producing.
Got it. So like the Martha Stewart stuff they have at Target, you're not going to find it at the local.
Correct.
spots.
Yeah.
Makes sense, and it's cool that so many people are willing to support those businesses and they can stay intact.
Yes.
Right. And I guess a good chunk of them made it through COVID as well.
Yeah. They also have a farmers market on Thursdays.
Okay. What's that about?
The local businesses put out their merchandise right by Target as well. They close down the shop, and I like it. Fresh produce.
Yeah.
To buy fresh produce.
Is it always just food? They got food, and they're selling other stuff too. They're selling like candles.
Correct.
And stuff like that. So all the regular stuff that you find at a farmer's market. But the cool benefit is they close down the street, and you can walk down it and shop on the street.
Yeah.
Right, which is always a cool feel. I feel like cars have taken too much importance in our city planning over the years, and so whenever we can take it back, even temporarily, for a farmer's market, I think it's a great blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we got the festivals. We also have not just the farmers markets. We always have these festivals too.
Mm-hmm.
There are festivals like once a month, right? I was just recently at the North Park Music Festival, which is right there, where they had like 3 stages. And one of my friends is in the Madison too, and so we got to see him perform. Because some of these people, only play at these bigger events, and so they had some big bands there, big crowd, and it was a lot of fun. It was like all ages. There's kids there and stuff like that. And so there's other big festivals that they block off entire streets, and they have big stages, and they'll get big names through here.
Mhm.
And so they'll have all kinds of activities as well, and booths, and in addition at these festivals where you can get food, where you can buy things, where they'll have interactive art experiences. And it's cool that North Park is a little bit more independent and funky than like a generic type town.
Yeah, very eclectic.
Yeah, eclectic's a good way to describe it. Awesome. So we've got beers, we've got festivals, we've got the farmers market, and there's also got a huge coffee culture because you can't drink beer at 8 a.m. You need something to get you going, and that's where you get your chai tea matcha lattes.
Yes.
Something like that,
I
right?
love that place.
Which, okay, so that's a matcha place, and there's some other ones too, right? Communal Coffee is a popular one. It's one of those Instagrammable places, and you have communal tables, and I guess you could make friends, right? Over a cup of coffee,
A lot of
ideally.
people use it as workspaces. It's just a very chill vibe.
Okay, so how do you know whether you're going to talk to someone or not? Is it whether they have headphones on?
Well, I guess it just depends. Like, what if their laptop says "I love real estate" and you just like stop them like, "Hey, I'm in real estate as well." But I think it just depends on your common ground that you could probably touch on.
At least it's coffee.
I think I spoke to somebody that had a yoga hat, and that just intrigued me to talk to somebody like, "Oh, you do yoga nearby?" And that's when we started talking about Yoga Box. That's also in North Park.
Aha. Okay. Cool. What's Yoga Box?
It's a yoga studio.
But-
I go to.
And it's got a boxing thing to it.
No, it's just the title is just called Yoga Box.
Uh-huh.
It's just actually like a very small boxy studio. like a,
Got it. Okay. Okay. So some of the other places there are Dark Horse Coffee Roasters,
Yes.
right? A few of the spots there that are popular for coffee, which is great. You know, you can't always be drinking beer. And I was mentioning previously that there's Kava shops in North Park as well.
there's.
Have you been to those?
I have not tried it yet.
Kava's good. It's nice. It's weird. It's earthy. It's fizzy, and it gives you a slight buzz.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so I was saying that a lot of people that are recovering alcoholics go there and drink because it still gives them that third space, someplace they can go and hang out.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to drink a coffee in the evening because you don't want to stay up all night, then you can get a kava.
Gotcha.
And people are there like playing board games or hanging out, chatting just like they do at any other bar, which is pretty cool. Other cool things about North Park is that it's a nice central location. It's mostly flat, which means it's very bikeable and walkable, right? Because there's some communities in San Diego that are too hilly or too disjointed, and it's too hard to get around with just a bike walking. But they've got great bike infrastructure, good bike lanes, good bike parking, and they encourage it, and it's nice because then that way you don't have to mess with parking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so that's a huge benefit. And getting around on bike versus car, you get to see a lot more of the community. I love being on my bike, and so whenever I can bike a community, it's a great way to get a feel for it, I think. Additionally, they also have the marathon that comes through there, right? The San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon, one of our biggest events that we have, goes straight through North Park. The streets are shut down. It can be annoying if you're not ready for it, but if you're ready for it, what a great spectacle to see, right? And they have stages set up along the way because there's rock and roll music playing, right? Pretty cool thing. The live music is huge in North Park. We already talked about all the festivals and stuff like that, but they've got bars that have live music in it, and one of the best places is the North Park Observatory.
Yes.
Been there for sure?
Yes.
Okay, who'd you see there?
Tiger Army.
Okay, how's that?
It's good. One of my favorite bands.
I've never heard of them. To learn this stuff, but there's been some other big bands like Arctic Monkeys, Kendrick Lamar, Tame Impala, Black Keys that have come through there. In addition to other bands, and it's a smaller venue, so it's cool to see them in a space like that they typically wouldn't go to because these are bands that typically fill up 20 to 60,000 person arenas. You go to the observatory, how many people are there? 2,000 people?
Yeah, it's very cozy. Like you can actually see the band, like the artist play like, right in front of you.
Yeah. If you're close enough, they might be spraying it on you. The other cool thing about North Park is because it's not coastal, you get more sunny days there, right? One of the weird things about San Diego is that people assume it's always sunny, but we have a few months, especially coastal, where we get something called the marine layer, and it's cloudy half or more of the day. But as soon as you cross that 5 or get into neighborhoods like North Park, it's usually sunny there. They don't get the marine layer as often. It's been a little bit odd this year with global weirding, but for the most part, it's sunny, and it's also got good access to a lot of parks, including the U.S.'s largest park in the city, which is Balboa Park. I don't know if you knew that. It's actually bigger than like Central Park in New York. And so Balboa Park is a huge resource. We've got the San Diego Zoo's in there, all the museums, all of the a bunch of restaurants, and a bunch of other amenities too. Hiking trails, tennis courts, basketball courts, chess places. There's so much. It's incredible that any corner of Balboa Park, there's another resource, and it's right next to North Park, which is a great way to start or end your day. Even disc golfing, the world's most popular disc golfing course is right there called Morley, right next to North Park. And it's a great venue. It's a great resource to have so close by that you could ride your bike or walk from your home in North Park. And then finally, like if you're looking to live in North Park, you can get houses. There's a lot of Spanish revival and mid-century homes. That's when a lot of the homes were built back as far as 1920, where you get more of the Spanish revival, and then you get more of the mid-century homes that were built in the 1950s and stuff, right? You're seeing some of those getting remodeled and built bigger, and now there's a lot more high-rises coming through. We have a massive housing shortage in San Diego, so they're building apartment complexes and condos. And condos go for what, 500, 600, 700,000 roughly?
Approximately.
Yeah, and then if you're renting, maybe you could find some place for rent as cheap as $2,000, and sky's the limit after that, right? A nice place goes for about $3,000, and then you can get penthouses and stuff for $6,000, $7,000, $8,000.
Yes.
With nice views or rooftops and stuff like that. And it's a great place to live. There's a lot of young professionals that live there, but you're starting to see some young families as well that are wanting to stay and want that vibrancy. They don't necessarily love the beach life and don't want to live by the beach. Plus, it's a little bit more affordable in North Park, and you can still drive to the beach in 10, 15 minutes, right? It's a great place to live for all these other amenities, the beers, the festivals, the coffee shops, the music, and proximity to the big parks and downtown and the airport and being central in San Diego.
Yes, it's actually a great little city. It's good to be really close to everything. I'm just 5 minutes away from North Park, but I love it. I love the location. About 15 minutes from anywhere I want to go. Like if I want to go towards La Mesa, downtown, more down south, it's really close by, so it's very convenient.
Yeah, because it's pretty much the middle of San Diego.
Correct.
Yeah, I love it. Check out North Park next time you're in San Diego. There's lots to see there.